FFF in hand. Come to Melly Stream, it's a cozy land. Princess Amelia bringing cheer. Cattleman's wisdom always near. Melly Stream, where the good vibes flow. Lena and Mandy stealing the show. Mandy can't get enough. Me Tom and Mad Hog passing digital love. Chatter fills the air in a warm embrace. A digital gathering, a special place. Laughs with a wink and a smile on the screen. The quirkiest crew you've ever seen. Melly Stream, where the good vibes flow. Lena and Mandy stealing the show. Mandy can't get enough. Me Tom and Mad Hog passing digital love. Find your corner, feel the scene. It's a universe crafted in caffeine. Moments shared and stories spun. Every day is a new kind of fun. Melly Stream, where the good vibes flow. Lena and Mandy stealing the show. Mandy can't get enough. Me Tom and Mad Hog passing digital love. Find your corner, feel the scene. It's a universe crafted in caffeine. Moments shared and stories spun. Every day is a new kind of fun. Melly Stream, where the good vibes flow. Lena and Mandy stealing the show. Mandy can't get enough. Me Tom and Mad Hog passing digital love.
Let her scatter like a broken hand spilling wine. Melly writes like she's losing her damn mind. Typos crawl across the page like bugs at night. Plot holes drag us down into the endless fight. Caps lock screams and question marks that bleed. Ideas run wild but they never take the lead. Sentence stumble drunk on misspelled pride. Melly laughs, says it's rolling time, it won't hide. It's so messed up, it don't make no sense. Cracks in the walls, words jump the fence. We're sweating in chaos, drinking every line. Melly says who cares, it's writin time. Pages full like this, punching at the dark. Clocks on fire, no aim, just a failed spark. Characters lost in circles they can't climb. Melly just shrugs, says it's writin time. The red pen's dead, the rules don't apply. Crossed out truths with a mask of a lie. Grammar cries, but we keep writing blind. Melly howls, this is how we find the blind. It's so messed We're swimming in chaos, drinking every line. Melly says who cares? It's writing time.
Something up with my avatar. Ah well, there's your problem. Ghosts.
You know, I'm getting close to just face streaming this. Because my avatar is still refusing to work with me. She's just dead. She's just looking at me and it's like, eh. Anyway, how are you, Coco Man? How you doing? We got ourselves a heck of a show. We got more Molly McBride story. We got... oh, hi, Mito Tomaton. As well. Oh, we got another short story. Which I'm quite excited to read. Okay, it should be using the right camera. Yeah, so like this is what my this is what my avatar is doing at the minute. She's just cold and dead and unmoving. I think the mouth is moving a little, but the camera is not. I don't know what to do here. Maybe if I change avatars? Let's see. Nope. Same issue.
I hate it when ghosts show up at my door. So annoying. They kept saying stuff like, "Did you know Jesus died for your sins?"
Oh, tell me about it. And sometimes they ask about like, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this mop? Have you heard of this knife brand? You just want to get like an exorcist or something. Perhaps I could simulate movement or... is it because I've got a video capture on something else, maybe? Let's see. Okay, I'm removing a video capture device on my sources. Let me try unplugging and replugging one more time. Now that I've removed the camera source.
It's okay, I can attempt an exorcism from here.
Oh, yes, please.
I'm qualified to perform them.
Let's see, is there stuff I could be closing down? Probably. Probably should have restarted my computer before doing all this too. Okay, I'm closing all programs I don't need open. Okay, I think I'm closing most of them. Alright. Trying to change my camera settings. Yeah, I think it should be good. Okay. Let's give this a go. Nah, we still got the same problem. I don't know. Oh, my camera's just not working. Huh. Yeah, that's me trying to access my
Okay,
camera.
I have lit the incense and chanted the sutras, but this may be beyond my pay grade.
Tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close Discord because I think that it was using my camera, right? Gonna close VC face. Gonna open VC face again. Because now, like, my camera should be free to use. Free to use, 0 subscription service. Oh, what would you like to? So, what would you? What story would you guys
Shut them
like?
all down.
I'm shutting them down. Chopping down the internet. No. Which would you like to hear first? Then the continuation of Molly, or would you like to hear the brand spanking new short story? Come on, move. Oh my god.
Ooh, I'd like to hear more Molly first.
Ooh, yes, I can do. I've just remembered something. Hang on. Oh wait, no, that's not gonna work either. I was about to open up animes, but if my camera's not working...
Save the new story for Mandy.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. Hang on, I'm gonna try unplugging my camera. I'm plugging it in a different port and seeing if that, like, rejiggers it.
Mandy.
Mandy. Come on. Go in. There you go. Right. Am I going my cameras or something? Hang on. Camera. Let's see. Can I actually get my camera working? Do I need to troubleshoot? Is there something that you can do to change the camera thing? Because, like, at this rate, I can't even get, like face on here.
Mandy McMandy of the clan McMandy.
Yeah, even my camera app's not working. There's something up with my camera, I think. Oh god. Oh my god. What do I do? I guess I just find a placeholder.
There can be only one Mandy. Mandy. Sorry Melly, I will look for an appropriate ghost dispelling seal you can attach to your computer.
Thank you. Let's see. Open image in a new tab, and let's copy this as a browser source. Okie dokie. There we go. Placeholder found. Perfect. No one will know the difference. Okay. Shh. It's fine. It's fine. I'm a professional. Okay.
Oh wow, it's perfectly normal Melly. Furry Melly.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay, I'm gonna turn down that. Anyone got a link to some royalty-free piratey sound and music? I'll move my avatar to imply that I have an avatar, which I don't, and I apologize. But yeah, so any of you guys, you got any royalty-free piratey sound and music that maybe I could use? Cause like that would be good for the story.
What, this is a perfectly normal Melly.
Yeah, no, I know that. But like what I'm saying, guys, is I'm saying, do you have some royalty-free music that I could play maybe that's more suitable, more befitting, if you will, to like a pirate story? I mean, it's not really pirates, it's 1870, but you know, it's kind of a pirate story. I mean, there are no pirates. There are no pirates, but it's still good. You know what? I'm just gonna go on YouTube and I'm just gonna type in royalty-free piratey sounding music.
https
thank you.
/www.youtube.com/watch?/f1f/www05qxmampersand list=sign PLFP6I5T0-kicked-qbake4L3EG.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better
That's
myself.
what I did.
Couldn't have said it better
Also,
myself.
That's what she said.
I mean, I guess this is okay. Oh, there's lots of them though. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna grab the coffee and then. You hear this? Yeah. Oh, baby. That's the story of Molly McBride and her journey to the east. I'll be right back. You're gonna have to remind me, where were you in the story last time? Like, did the Banshees like that? Banshees survived the Banshee. I need to know. There may also be pictures that I'll need to just... give me a second. Right. I'm pretty sure it was after the Banshee attack, right? So she got the parchment and she accidentally cut her finger and accidentally made a blood oath with a spooky old parchment. And then a Banshee attacked in the middle of the night. But her mum had made a salt ring, but oh no, the wind blew away the salt outside. But it was still at the doors, but they forgot the windows, and so the Banshee crawled in.
Heck yeah, it's blood magic time.
Oh yeah. And then the Banshee got in, but Molly was able to run to the kitchen to grab some just enough salt to throw in the Banshee's face and complete a salt circle around them, and they waited there until the morning. I believe that's where we left the story last time. Now I will bring up some pickers. Oh. Let me just... Okay, there's no pickers just yet. But I will get them ready for screen sharing. Okay. Let's see, where were we? Can you hear me okay? Her aunt simply looked at her and said, "You'd better start explaining yourself, young lady. Just what have you gotten yourself into?" And the story continues. Chapter 5. Captain Sullivan. The morning came groggily to Molly and her aunt as Molly had recounted the events. Molly even ventured to try some coffee for the first time, yet it was too bitter, despite its enticing aroma, and brought Molly close to throwing up. That is, if she had tried to eat anything that morning. Both she and her aunt found they had little to no appetite following the events they had been through. The cut on her aunt's cheek proved that it hadn't been imagined. It was clear Molly was no longer safe in the world of rationality. "So when will this shipwright and his friend arrive, Moll?" her aunt asked, wishing to change the subject from ghouls and ghosts to something more positive. "I don't know, Auntie. He simply said he'd be there, he'd come in the morning. I wonder what they intend by their visit." No sooner had she asked this, there was a knock at the door.
That's shipwright, not shipwhite.
Yes. Speak of the devil. She caught the sudden terror-struck expression on her niece's face by her careless choice of words. On second thought, that's not. She was reassured, but still sat on the small wooden table, sleep-deprived, and as white as the Banshee, as her aunt went to answer the door. A thick Scottish accent reverberated straight through the hall and into the kitchen. "Good morning. You're the wee lassie's auntie, I assume, unless my associate got the details wrong." "I am," Aunt Sophie said. "You're gonna have to bear with me. I'm sorry, the Captain's Scottish. I just enjoy it that way. I've already cast David Tennant in my head. It's all going swimmingly. Please, can you help her?" Well, that's a wee bit of a complicated matter. I couldn't trouble you for a spot of tea, could I?"
Jinx Crivens help Marborb.
Shush, no, lewd, stop it. I'm also quite keen to see the child that's finally found the map. Map, Molly thought to herself. Is that what it was? She suddenly felt reinvigorated with a curious energy and appeared from behind the kitchen door. "One number 2, she said finally. She had no idea what else to say. Jeremiah was with the mystery man. They both talked with her aunt and Molly. He told her of the parchment's origin, a decree from King Solomon, or Suleiman, I believe was the original pronunciation, before the English, well, do what they do. Both a guide and permission for his vizier to take back what belonged to him. A confused look spread across Molly's face. The man courses. A vizier is a sort of advisor, second in command, you can. Another look of confusion. You know. Molly understood this time and signified with a nod. So the king gave him the same parchment you have in your hands right now, and with it, I hope you'll agree to help me find what it leads to. Molly had remained somewhat quiet throughout the conversation, but as it had progressed, she felt her shy nature falling away. When you say help you, help how? And what does it lead to? The man smiled, recognizing something in her eyes, a type of spark. To help, you would have to come with me on a 10-week journey to the ends of the earth. As far as for what I don't know, hang on. Oh, as for what lies there, some say it's riches. Some say it's something even more valuable than all the riches of the earth.
Scotswoman.
Oh yes. The prospect tantalized Molly, but had to put her foot down. Sir, I don't even know your name. The man seemed oddly aware of himself. Oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. I just came in here and started rambling about ghouls and ghosts. And I haven't even introduced myself. Captain Sullivan, a pleasure. You don't look like a captain, said Molly. Moll! Her aunt chastised her a little. Captain Sullivan raised her hand, dismissing it. That's quite all right, Miss Tandem. A lot of people say that, young Molly. He turned to her. What exactly does a captain look like?
Rambling about classic arcade games, dolls and ghosts.
Yeah. What does a captain look like? A powdered wig, brass buttons up to their neck? I don't think any of that matters. Traditional hoo-ha. That's what I say. A captain has one job and one job only, to see his duty is done, and above all, ensure the safe passage and well-being of his or her crew. The addition of her at the end made both Molly and her aunt smile. Captain Sullivan continued, As such, your well-being comes to mind. As I said, the promise of that parchment's destination has been my heart's desire for the best part of a decade, but I cannot force you to help me. If it's your choice, young Molly, the owner and the parchment must go together as one, so it is up to you. If you should choose to stay, I respect that. Though it pains me, it is your choice. And from the looks of your aunt, she does seem quite knowledgeable and keen guardian. Molly looked to her aunt, and then at the cut on her cheek. If, on the other hand, you should choose to go with us on a journey to the east, I promise you no harm will come to you under my watch, and the things you will see will make your soul take flight. Molly, in the silence, felt that feeling, the whisper. She looked at her aunt, as if seeking permission. She gave a look that told her it was her decision to make. What's your answer, young Molly? A simple smile, a smile spread across her face. Aye, aye, Captain. Molly had spent the afternoon gathering what she would need for the 10-week voyage. A change of clothes, a small bag of threads and needles, a bar of soap and a wash rag, and a copy of Alice in Wonderland to learn from Alice.
You might even see the rarest of all the legendary creatures, an honest politician.
Aye, 'tis a silly, superstitious hoo-ha. Is that meat automaton? No such thing exists. She took a copy of Alice in Wonderland with her, hoping to learn how she managed her journey. Finally, a few cross-stitching loops and fabric. All these things were thrown into a chest of her father's from his sailing days. There was an odd feeling to it, as if the chest was happy to fulfill its purpose once more. Captain Sullivan prepared the cart outside with Jeremiah as they spoke of what would be needed in terms of men and stock. Captain Blue, the shipwright, corrected himself. He'd known Captain Sullivan for the last 10 years as Lou, and wasn't about to change that now. Aye, Captain Sullivan. Lou looked up from the cart bars. They won't like it, you know. The men, as fine as they are, a woman on board brings bad luck. They'll be uneasy, Lou. Captain Sullivan shook his head, laughing. Well, we aren't ferrying a woman. She's a wee lassie. Oh, you know what I mean, sir. It doesn't matter how old she is. It does not bode well for us should we proceed in this manner. Captain Sullivan faced his old friend and prodded him in the chest, punctuating his words. Traditional, superstitious hoo-ha. Captain Sullivan then went to ready the horses. You know, I still don't understand you, sir. You are a walking contradiction, a nonsense, readily willing to believe in gargoyles and myths and demons, but something as well known as it's bad luck to give passage to a woman, and you cry hoo-ha. It is my experience, said Captain Sullivan, that the world is far too full as it is, with real omens and terrors without us inventing our own. Molly and her aunt dragged the chest to the cart, dropping the heavy wooden thing with a thud. Captain Sullivan leaned from the driver's seat. Wouldn't you mind getting that, would you, Jerry? I mean, something
you best
that...
start believing in ghost stories.
Okay, you're in one. I mean, something that two wee hens carried here themselves should be a trifle for a man like yourself. Jeremiah looked at the foreboding heavy chest that he was to haul up onto the cart and sweated a little as he mopped his balding forehead. Aye, aye, Captain, he said sarcastically. As the cart moved away, Molly watched as her aunt grew more distant. Molly had asked if she had wanted to go with her, and though the idea had tempted her, Aunt Sophie said she was far too old for such a thing, that she, in her youth, had embarked on her own adventures that had led Molly to her guardianship in the first place. Still... Oh my god, yes! We've got the bagpipes in the background, yes. It was sad to watch the woman that had taken her in, taught her everything she knew, disappear from her sight. Captain Sullivan noticed the tears on Molly's face. Molly, cheer up! It's not as if you'll never see her again. The way his accent shaped the words never made it sound like nevarg. It brought to mind pirates from 100 years ago and made her smile. If accents were made of cloth, Captain Sullivan's was a warm, cozy tartan blanket. 10 weeks to get back. 10 weeks to get there, 10 back. Barely even a year. Aye, you'll see the old hen in no time. Molly took the parchment out of her dress, taking care to hold it tight so the wind, it wasn't swept away on the wind. You say this is a map, but it's blank, the captain interrupted. Molly nodded. You need the right tools to see it. A way of deterring thieves, I should imagine. Here, Jeremiah fished a small round monocle type thing from his pocket with a strange orange lens and passed it to Molly. Look at it through this. Looking through the lens with one eye. Molly was amazed to... with one eye shut. Molly was amazed to see an ink etching of the world materializing in front of her eyes. There was England, and there was a twinkling star, which she assumed must represent her, but there was a second to the east of Africa and to the west of India. Is that where we're heading? Asked Molly. Arabia? Aye. That's where our goal is, young Molly. Molly was confused. You can't get to the Indian Ocean in 10 weeks. You have to go all the way around Africa. Jeremiah was surprised. Again, she was oddly knowledgeable for the daughter of a tailor. We won't be going that way, Jeremiah said. How will you be getting there if not by ship? It will be by ship, Captain Sullivan smiled. We live in an ever-changing world, young Molly, but perhaps it'd be easier just to show you. After several hours, the cart pulled up to an enormous manor house. Okay, now I'm going to screen share because I did actually do this image. Give me a second. There you go. That is Captain Sullivan's manor. Let me just resize this for you. You see it okay? Cool. After several hours, the cart pulled up to an enormous manor house. Molly had never seen a house so large in her life. Tudor architecture mixed with Victorian additions. A gigantic barn-like structure that faced the sea. How beautiful, Molly murmured somewhat to herself. If you think that's good, you should see the inside. Captain Sullivan smiled as the manor grew larger and stretched to the heavens as he pulled into the courtyard. Chapter 8. The Magnificent Machines of Captain Sullivan. It was no exaggeration. The things Molly saw in the captain's house were extraordinary. Small and grand machines of brass and copper and steel. It was as if the manor were an organic, living thing shifting and whirring with steam for its blood. Doors opened by themselves with some sort of pressure plates mechanism. The good captain had tried to explain how they functioned, but Molly was content to simply enjoy the novelty. The manor was divided into 4 quarters, with the west wing connected to what the captain called the hangar, for 2 reasons. The first being that this was a name for a building that housed vehicles. The second reason being altogether more literal, as it literally hung over the shoreline, dipping into the ocean. Molly was led to the northern wing, the library. You'll be spending the night here, so naturally you'll be worrying about your safety, I should imagine, asked Captain Sullivan. Molly hadn't really. She'd been too taken up by the breakneck speed of changes and events around her. Well, the bedrooms are above the library, so the parchment can be isolated here. As they passed into the library, Molly noticed a strange brass line on the floor. Captain Sullivan caught her gaze. "Ina, young Molly, that's a specially designed salt line, a hollow brass tube filled with salt. Your aunt was a smart lady. There's a line just like it surrounding the manor, naturally. No ghosts or ghoulies tonight." A sphere ascended from the floor as a hiss of steam escaped. It then opened like a false globe. In it, a small brass salt ring and a space for the parchment. "You can place it in there, Molly." She did so, and there was a ringing from a bell on a spring from the captain's desk, next to an odd box-looking thing. "A moment, young Molly." The captain went over and picked up the round thing and bizarrely talked into it. "Aye, Miss Mayweather. I was wondering your whereabouts. 40 minutes. Aye, that's perfection itself. Gives me time to show the lassie the serendipity. All right, ahoy hoy." He placed the strange round thing down. He looked up at a confused-looking Molly. "Oh, a gift from a fellow Scot. It's a talking machine. Uses vibrations and electricity. I was just speaking with my housekeeper, Miss Mayweather. She's on the other side of the house. Isn't that marvellous? Well, but didn't tell anyone. He hasn't patented it yet. Alexander, great man, though it had disorganised." "What was that thing you did at the end? Ahoy hoy." "Ah, well, it's trial of sorts. You need to say something at the beginning and the end of one of those electric conversations. I suggested ahoy hoy. It's how we greet each other at sea. He says he'll come up with something altogether. What was it? Hello? Ha! Daft word in my opinion. It'll never catch on." "Aye, but time's wasting," she said. Supper will be ready in about 40 minutes. Let's go to the east wing. I need to show you a very special lady." As they left the room, the sphere closed and descended once more into the wooden floor. The captain's manner really did draw a fine line between science and magic. The lady the captain was referring to was no lady at all. She was an enormous wooden ship that took up most of the hangar. Her edges shone with copper, iron, and steel. Upon her hull, the nameplate HMS Serendipity. The figurehead was...
Other people thought to say hello, as though surprised by the conversation. Imagine it.
HMS Serendipity. The figurehead was a unicorn in a rampant pose. Her sails were tied up, but at her center, two large slanted metal cylinders stuck up into the back. Molly had never seen anything like it. What kind of ship is this, Captain? My ship? My design? Serendipity. She's an ironclad. All the features of a sailing ship with a heart of steam. And armoured in metal. The future, or so I'm told. Aye, Serendipity. I call her Dippy for short. As Molly gazed at the thing, a feeling of awe washed over her. It was as if this mechanical behemoth was some sleeping giant, ready to wake at any moment, terrifying and beautiful at the same time. That'll be your cabin over there. The captain pointed to a window near the stern. You'll be on the same deck as the lieutenant, master, and Jeremiah, if I can convince the old curmudgeon. How many people will there be? Around 80 of us. There'll be no shortage of work, you can be sure of that. And I notice that thread hanging out of your chest. It'll be handy to have a tailor on board. Will there be any young people, like me? Oh, aye, we'll be needing some cabin boys. Ships can't run without them. Another ring from another box, this time on the wall. The captain answered it. Ahoy, hoy. Aye, Miss Mayweather. Aye, we're on our way. The captain hung up, then looked at Molly.
Said to be the only creature capable of slaying the lion, king of beasts. And, of course, the proud symbol of Scotland, bagpipes ensue.
Here the captain hung up, then looked at Molly. Such a busybody, that one. Still, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better housekeeper. The east wing was mainly comprised of a grand hall with vaulted ceilings. Molly began to grow sleepy as she waited at the table, a long thing covered in lace and adornments. She always found it bizarre that the rich should put so much theatrics into something as simple as eating. Miss Mayweather was a tall, thin, commanding woman, hair tied back with a stern face. She wore a long black dress that buttoned up almost to her chin and served the dinner on actual silver platters. The lights in the hall were odd. They looked as if they had two pieces of black things in them that hurt a little to look at directly, and there was a faint hum they produced. Whatever they were, they weren't gas. Molly, finding her appetites returning with gusto, wolfed down a main chicken dinner with gravy and vegetables, seconds and thirds. And finally, a sticky toffee pudding was brought out. She let out a yawn and sleepily said, I love sticky toffee. The girl was exhausted, and her head thunked on the table, with a napkin for a pillow. Snoring as one does when trying to get back a missed night of sleep. Molly dreamed of strange lands, unicorns and fairies that night. Alice from Wonderland was there too, complaining about how ludicrous everything was. Out of nowhere, Alice had been carted off by Tweedledum and Tweedledee, and she then had to ask the Queen of Hearts to help save Alice, only for Molly to learn that Alice was being held prisoner by the Jabberwocky. Chapter 9. The Power of the Scroll. It is always strange to wake up in a bed not your own. Even more so when you have no recollection of how you got there. The bed was the softest thing Molly had ever felt. Part of her never wanted to leave the silken heaven she was wrapped in. The morning sun, rich and golden, spread over the room like waves on a shore. There was a ringing thing on the wall. Having seen the captain operating the talking box, she felt she knew how to use it. She jumped off the bed and knocked what appeared to be a brand new dress left for her on the bottom of the bed. She held it up. It was a navy blue thing made of a sturdy material with fine stitching. She could tell great care had gone into its crafting. She was the daughter of a tailor after all. The ringing continued and reminded her why she had gotten up. She made her way to the box, picked up the round thing, and answered, Ahoy, hoy? Ah, Molly! It was the captain. Would you join us in the northern wing? Something marvellous has happened. There was a click, and the voice was gone. She made her way to the northern wing with a less sleep-deprived eye. She noticed curiosities and trinkets on the walls, African masks, Native American tools, Egyptian artifacts. The captain was a collector of all things arcane and curious. Molly entered the library to a most bizarre scene. There was the sphere broken in pieces. At the end of the library, a window had been smashed. The captain, noticing Molly's entrance, looked to her and beamed. There's been a robbery. Isn't that fantastic? Captain Sullivan really was unpredictable. The parchment is gone, Molly said, in an odd mix of fear and elation. How in the world is that a good thing? She asked. Well, don't you see, young Molly? We get to see it in action. That parchment is yours now by blood. It will return to you. How did they get in? I thought the salt circle... Oh, no. The salt circle did work. Young Molly, this thief isn't something stopped by salt. And what is that? Molly asked. A completely normal person. Molly, I don't like this music. I'm sorry. I'm going to change this music. It's too... Hang on. There we go. That's better. Okay. Oh, you weren't meant to see that yet. Molly remembered that Jeremiah mentioning that the parchment would find its way back, but had a hard time believing it. How could it? Would it sprout legs or wings? On the other side of Falmouth, the thief, currently running from authorities, tripped. The parchment came loose in his hand. A cat, seeing a new chew toy, scooped it up and ran several blocks before running into a pack of stray dogs. Dropping the parchment and fleeing, the parchment lay for a second before a horse-drawn cart thundered down the street, cartwheel whisking the parchment high into the air. A passing magpie, seeing something shining in the seal at the bottom, waited for the parchment to fall before scooping it up and flying for several blocks, parchment in claw. The magpie hadn't chosen its new home location yet. With tremendous speed, it closed in on a print shop. It perched itself on the windowsill. The shopkeeper had other ideas. Shooing away the bird, the parchment slipped to the floor of the print shop just as a new employee dropped some papers. Shorn the devil have you, clumsy oaf. Those are the Captain Sullivan's orders. They're a ship manifest. Careful, you silly child. The boy scooped up the documents, up with the scroll. Now part of the letter stack. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Stop messing around and get those things to his house this instant. The captain and Molly had eaten breakfast and were talking in the main hall. From what he was saying, it seemed as if he meant to set sail that day. As they entered the grand hall, Miss Mayweather handed him a leather-bound file. From the printer, sir. Ah, marvellous, Miss Mayweather. The captain stared at the file, snatched the file from her like a child with a new toy. You're welcome, Miss Mayweather said as she retreated into the mansion. I was saying, your chest has already been loaded, and Dippy is in Falmouth Dock, ready to go when you are. But we don't have the map anymore. The captain became agitated. Molly, I told you. He turned while descending the front of the manor steps. The parchment will, before he could finish, he tripped, taking Molly down with him. The papers exploded from the leather file, and, as if on cue, the parchment floated down until it was laying on Molly's stomach, who was now on her back. Return to you. The captain finished, smiling at Molly. Nothing short of Molly's death would separate her from the parchment. That was crystal clear. From there, they made their way to Falmouth Docks to board the Serendipity and start their 10-week voyage. We got her in the end, guys. Are you ready? There it is. It's happening. Let's go. Chapter 10, Setting Sail. The deck was electric, in every way imaginable. Molly stared up at the serendipity, a million hands working a million tasks, people testing the ropes, sparks of electricity as her 2 electric lanterns flared into life, people dangling, pulling on pulley systems, painting her hull, ropes pulling every which way, and carting cargo supplies and everything else imaginable. This way and that, across her decks and into her holds at frightening speed and grace. She saw a boy.
These are the voyages of the HMS Serendipity, her 10-week voyage, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no small child has gone before.
She saw a boy steal a loaf of bread being chased by another sailor, something. Jurgmling? Oh, jumping over, planks and rope, before disappearing into the depths of Serendipity's lower holes. Serendipity's hull. It was indescribable. People running along the mast and up the rigging. The very top of the ship was a red-headed cabin boy dangling his legs, staring at her, approaching. At least that's what Molly thought he was doing. It was impossible to tell at that distance, and she couldn't believe anyone could have the stomach to be that high up, let alone dangle their legs over the side. Within the hour, the gangplanks were withdrawn, the boilers brought up to temperature, all 80 sailors assembled on the deck. The dockmaster gave the all clear, and for the first time, not just for Molly, but for every sea and land man there, the Serendipity's mighty brass steam whistle gave out a thunderous blast. It was as if she was singing. Her sails unfolded and anchors raised. People at the docks cheered and waved to their family. Molly scanned the crowd frantically to find her. Oh, she must be there somewhere, she thought, in panic-stricken. And then there was the familiar scarf, her mother's scarf, held by her aunt, waving her off. "Goodbye, Auntie," she screamed. "Goodbye, Molly." Her aunt screamed. Neither one could hear each other over the crowd and Serendipity's engines, but both could read each other's lips as they both said, "I love you," together. Serendipity picked up speed as England began to move faster and faster away, and the ship Serendipity charged, glistening, adventure-bound, into the infinite sea that lay before her. Molly had answered the whisper, the call to adventure. And this is the final chapter that has not been finished yet. I'm really sorry. Or the final chapter for now, rather. So I hope you're buckled in and you're cozy. As the day wore on, young Molly spent the afternoon gazing out into the ocean. For a while, it seemed to stretch out forever, but a coastline to her left began to come into view. She assumed that it must be France. The captain spent most of the first leg of the journey discussing the details of the voyage with the master, a man called Irving White, who was tall, wide, and ex-Navy. The lieutenant, a stocky older man, who wore a white wig reminiscent of the things captains used to wear, named Isaac Lynch, and a very reluctant Jeremiah. The master, Irving, was already complaining that 20 artillerists doubling as engineers was unacceptable. The captain had assured him that Serendipity's engines were state-of-the-art, implementing both turbine and piston mechanisms, something Jeremiah could vouch for, having designed the ship himself. Should the Serendipity run into any conflict, they would not be short of men. The men argued for hours about the less than typical crew manifest, only printed the day before. After a while, Captain Sullivan had lost his patience. Not 50 miles from shore, and already there were disagreements on how the ship, his ship, should be run. He made his way to the deck to join Molly, watching the approaching coast of France in the setting sun. Molly had begun to feel odd, sort of dizzy. Captain, I don't feel well. Dinna worry, young Molly, it's just seasickness. You'll get used to it, and have your sea legs in no time. As the sun began to set, the banshee came to Molly's mind once more. Captain? Aye, Molly? There was a salt line in the manor, but I didn't see one on the ship. What's to stop... The captain shushed Molly as the two marines passed. Don't be talking of such things. We know we're liable to encounter them, but most of the crew don't. As far as they're concerned, we're on a journey to pick up saltpeter, a gunpowder component, and do scientific research. You can. Aye, sir. Molly nodded. But what's to stop them? Is there a salt line?
Our salt circle, Molly.
Thank you. Well done. Molly, it wouldn't do any good. He motioned to the ocean. Salt is all around us. The only things we might have to fear out here are, well, the things that live in the salt water. He looked into the darkening ocean before slapping Molly on the back. Let's hope that stuff's superstitious hoo-ha. Aye. Aye, Captain. Now, to bed with you. You'll be put to work tomorrow. No idle hands on my ship. You'll be meeting with Mr. Sterling, a rigsman.
Ghost whales.
He'll teach you everything you need to know. About thread and rope, and who knows, you might end up teaching him a thing or two as well. Molly made her way to a cabin on the third deck as Captain Sullivan looked out into the freshly started night before mumbling to himself, sea beasties. Superstitious hoo-ha. It was almost as if he was trying to convince himself. Molly's cabin was small and cramped. Her father's luggage stowed beneath the bed. A small luggage chest stowed beneath the bed. There was a... this is fantasy music. This isn't... No, this isn't the pirates. Hang on. There we go. Molly's cabin was small and cramped. Her father's luggage trunk stowed beneath the bed. A small table was to the side. Considering how large the ship was on the outside, it came as a shock how small the cabin was. There was just enough room for the chair by the desk to be pulled out, and that was it. Still, she felt herself lucky to have a cabin. She thought of the little redhead boy dangling his legs off of the crow's nest and wondered where he was sleeping. Maybe a hammock, or if even that. There was a knock at her cabin door. Still spooked by the banshee, she let out a squeal. Then there was a laugh and the sound of running footsteps. She opened the door only to see a few of the cabin boys running away down the deck and into the decks below. Oh, they must have thought that very funny, she grumbled to herself. She fished the copy of Alice in Wonderland out and got into bed. She started reading the section on the Mad Hatter and his tea party. The similarities between him and Captain Sullivan made her laugh. There was a sudden, loud bang, and the ship listed violently, throwing Molly from her cot and the copy of the book across the cabin. For a moment, there was silence, and the ship corrected itself before another bang. The ship rocked again. The sound of running, this time men's footsteps, could be heard outside her cabin. Cries of confusion and shouting. Molly unlocked her cabin and ran and joined the men racing up the stairs to the main deck. Though it was dark, the deck wasn't as dark as she thought it would be. However, the Serendipity's noisy lamps worked, they were effective. Several men were looking up to the crow's nest, and others looking over the side of the ship to try and see what the Serendipity had hit. Captain Sullivan appeared from the captain's quarters, making his way with purpose to the mainmast, the tallest of the ship's masts. He saw Molly, but couldn't waste time greeting her. Captain Sullivan opened a compartment in the mainmast, another of the talking boxes, connected to the top of the crow's nest, Molly assumed. What's happening up there, Mr. Minchella? What did we hit? A voice came through from the grill. We didn't hit anything. There's nothing. It's as if something hit us. Get a hold of yourself, Mr. Minchella. We need you to see what it was. Calm yourself. Aye, Captain. Wait, I think I see... The lookout was cut off. as the ship lurched violently again, this time accompanied by an enormous screech. A gigantic head rose from the depths. Its neck was long and snake-like. The sailors stood frozen in fear as the beast reached its full height, like something from prehistory. It had enormous body, giant flippers, and a tail as long as the ship. Hang on. Let me... I'll get you the picture. There we go. Oh, hang on. That's a rubbish version of the picture. Give me a second.
Sacred blue. Ghost whale.
Nah, come on now. You know what this is. That's good omens. That's copyrighted music. Stop. There we go. Okay, we're good. Head rose from the depths. Its neck was long and snake-like. The sailor stood frozen in fear as the beast reached its full height like something from prehistory. It had an enormous body, giant flippers, and a tail as long as the ship. The captain stared in disbelief. He always believed what he thought he was looking at, what he thought the creature was, had been confined to Loch Ness. Little did he know the exact same beast had been spoken of in tales from the English South. A man nearest to the beast turned and yelled, "The Morgar!" The beast let out a deafening roar, smashing itself into the ship once more. "To your stations!" yelled Captain Sullivan. At frightening speed, men raced across the deck. Serendipity's gun ports flew open as cannons were readied. And that's how much I got. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That's the end of the story for now.
Oh no, it's imperialism, Nessie.
Yes. Even worse than Nessie. English Nessie. But yes, we had a Loch Ness Monster too off the coast of Cornwall, don't you know? So yeah, that's your first sea beastie, Nessie. So, what do you guys think? Because that's where we're up to at the minute. Also, I'd like to hear your ideas. How does
very exciting.
Thank you. How does one defeat Nessie? Mayhaps I asked that question to you guys. How does one defeat Nessie? I don't know. I'm thinking about this. And I don't know. I mean, maybe just like a cannon fight, probably.
Depth charges.
Ooh, I like that. Also, hello, Princess Amelia. Good to have you.
Nessie's rage can only be soothed by the sound of the harmonious bagpipes.
Of course, the gentle and soothing bagpipes.
The best revenge is living well, with the power of friendship.
And cannons. Actually, you know what? Like...
And this gun I found.
Using music like that might not be the worst idea, now that I think about it. Like... music might be the way to defeat it. Maybe... I don't know. That's not such a bad idea. I'm gonna put that in the back pocket and I'm gonna think about it. Okay. Nice to have you, Princess Amelia. I don't know how much of the story that you heard. Also my avatar's not working this week.
Maybe the Cornish bagpipes.
Of course! The Cornish bagpipes. Because those exist. But yeah, Amelia, how much of the story did you hear? I mean, you kind of missed the serendipity.
I heard bits.
You heard bits. Did you see the picture of the serendipity? Hang on. I'll bring it up for you. There you go. That's the Serendipity and Falmouth Docks. Also, they're
I
gonna
saw
run.
that.
Cool.
Neat ship.
Thank you. They're also gonna run into this lovely lady, which is actually on its way back in 1876. This.
Melly,
It's-
you are not going to believe this when I tell you. There are Cornish bagpipes.
Oh my god!
Also Breton bagpipes.
Oh my god! I bet they're rubbish. I bet they're not as good as as Scottish bagpipes. Anyway, as they're going out, right? I was doing some history. I was doing some studying on some research, and this little lady, she's on her way back to England after her like 2-year voyage, literally doing a Star Trunk, like literally going where no man has gone before, on an expedition of science, and they're gonna, I guess, like they're gonna have like a sail by, right? And like the captain probably ask, "Oh, you want a scientific mission too?" And Captain Sullivan's gonna be like, "Aye, in a way." But this is the HMS Challenger, who is an ironclad herself. Do you see? Do you see? She is an ironclad. She has a steam engine. She... No cannons, though. Most of these cannons were taken out. Because there's not a lot of pirates left at this point in time. But yeah, fellow ironclad. And they were looking for the giant squid as well.
I think I see what you're laying down.
Mm-hmm. They didn't find the giant squid, sadly.
And a Mexican sailboat hit the Brooklyn Bridge.
Did that happen in 1876? Possibly. A lot of stuff happened in 1876. It's stupid. Like the telephone is first patented in 1876. The HMS Challenger is on its way back in 1876. Like,
no, it happened like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yes, of course. But yeah, like it's turning out to be a really neat time. I was a little disappointed because I wanted it to be 1815 at first, but like ironclads and like telephones and stuff, they're way off, right? That's by 1870. So I had to move it to 1870, and then telephones again were like 6 years off. So I was like, okay, I'll change it to 1876 then, and like that's awesome. But the crazy thing is, like, this is around like Dickens, like Charles Dickens' time and stuff. Treasure Island has not been written yet, sadly. That's not until 1880. But that's what Molly was going to bring on board. But hey, Alice in Wonderland, written 20 years ago. She knows about Alice in Wonderland, right? She probably reads it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the crazy thing is, like, Charles Dickens lived in this time. And this is like this time of like weird steampunk awesomeness.
And that's why Molly is writing a book about an island.
With treasure.
With treasure.
She could inspire him. Oh my god. Sorry, the connections. But anyway, but yeah, Charles Dickens lived in this time, right? And I'm fascinated they didn't write about any of this amazing steampunkiness. But then again, I thought, like, you know, like in 200 years, they might look back and say, whoa, Melody, you drove a vehicle that ran on explosions? And it's like, well, yeah, but that's just Oscar. That's just my car. That's not exciting. But they'll probably think it was exciting. Riding explosions to work. Yeah. That ran on dinosaur bones. But yeah, like when you're in the time period, like it's not exciting to you really. It's like, oh, it's just a thing in it. It's But yeah, 1876, very weird time. Also, I think Queen Victoria has just become the monarch of India, so that's gonna be interesting once they get there. I've not really thought about that too much, but they're going to Arabia anyway. They're not going all the way to India, but there are some pirates in the Indian Ocean, so you better watch out and watch your back, because maybe they're gonna get you. Anyway, I do have one short story as well. I'll bring that up. Let's see. Ba 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 ba. And da da ba ba ba.
The pirate captain. Silver-toothed short John.
Ha. Let's move this to writing because it should be in there. Move. There we go. Okay, this is a story that I've actually bobbed off to some writing competitions. So I'm curious to see like how it do. Let me just resize this for you. Okay. I need some royalty-free music that's kind of like, I don't know, science fiction-y. Let me see. Let's see.
Well, as a woodworker, I am qualified as a literary critic.
Okay, this'll do. Okay, so this is my newest short story. The last one was Turned, which is about the writer that was haunted by her past. This, I was trying to do something a little bit different. Then after this, we'll watch some unusual memes and then get to Betty Buys, I think. Life, time, and nothing. First, there was nothing, and then there was everything. One thing had become another, bringing her into being. She didn't understand what it meant at first. Understanding and meaning were new concepts. Concepts were new concepts. Time had been born, and she was lonely. But time wasn't alone. When she passed into existence, another hid in the darkness. But he wasn't yet ready to be known. He would wait for Time, his sister, and let her believe what she had done was good. Feeling lonely, Time eventually began to dream of another, someone to see her, to know her, experience her, someone to talk to. Her brother, lurking in the void, gazed on her actions curiously. She extended her arm and grabbed at the budding universe, forcing coalescence. Reality became violent, loud, and messy. Another figure began forming, then melted away into nothingness. Undeterred, Time tried again to will another into being. The figure shook, trying to keep form, amorphously discorporating, breaking down into nothing again. Stupid thing, the figure in the dark thought. Does she not know? There is only us. There can be no others. He laughed to himself. And in the end, there will be only me. He watched Time yanking with sound and fury, thrashing at the lights and matter and heat and motion, straining herself to breaking point, and the form held. Another had come into being, albeit a bit late to the party. Still, showing up was better than never. Late was better than never. Where, who, what am I? Unlike Time, she flowed, her appearance undulating in an ever-changing flux. You are life, my daughter, Time said, and you are here to keep me company. Life felt its vibrating face, paranoid and scared. But why am I? Time didn't understand. What is this word why? You are because you are. Time watched Life as she gazed at her ever-changing hands in terror. Something had gone wrong. Why was she not happy to simply be? Why, what? Life continued like this, repeating herself over and over. Thankfully, Time was very patient and had no issue with history repeating itself. Not that history existed yet either, but if it had, it wouldn't have bothered her. As this went on, she began to fear she might have to return life to the nothing from which she came. Life flinched, noticing the shadowy figure behind her mother, and stilled. Things to be done. Time's a-wasting. Am I? Time responded, confused. Oh, no, sorry. You look fine, Mum. Poor choice of words. Look, I got to go. She turned and fled, leaving Time alone and confused. In the darkness, however, the figure grinned. So she made another. Remarkable, but still folly. I will consume them both in the end. It matters not to me. Life spun through reality, new galaxies forming in her wake. She orbited a freshly created yellow sun and landed upon a bare, rocky planet. Life poured herself out, the pristine ocean of a new watery planet. The waters receded. She created a paradise sparkling a vast array of plants and animals, but none of them spoke to her. In a flash of inspiration, she created humans, breathing herself into their lungs. She also forged several minor celestial beings to govern the inner workings of human minds. Thinking of the human's needs, she created the pinnacle of creation, the perfect life form, standing above all others, tea leaf bushes. Naturally, she was the first to brew tea and judged it good, inadvertently creating judgments in the process. Judgment was a small, skinny, chatty sort of thing that could never quite be satisfied with anything, but that wasn't important to the story anyway. These actions drew the attention of Time's brother. How pointless, how laughable to defy my will, attempting to reverse it with my own power. It cannot last. The star's slow destruction she is siphoning energy from will run out, and I wonder what she will do then. To his surprise, Life turned from her blue-green marble to face him, staring him dead in the eyes over her cup of tea. You don't scare me, you know. You're nothing, she said with ludicrous confidence. That I am, said Nothing. And doesn't that terrify you? Life plunked her teacup down on some solar winds. I'm going to outsmart you. Well, I see you've inherited your mother's arrogance and stupidity. What makes you think you can run from me, survive me with this, he leaned towards Earth, trinkets? Life flew in front of him. Those lot down there are humans, and if there's one thing they don't like, it's you. They can't stand nothing, death, emptiness. Most of them anyways. Drives them up the wall. Well, that and the thing that happens when you walk into a room and can't remember what you went in for. But that's my own fault for creating forget. What is a room? Nothing snarled. What? It's a sort of box thing. They're very fond of them. Oh, you don't know what a box is either. She adjusted herself and faced Nothing standing tall. All the more reason they ain't gonna fall to you. They love making stuff. Can't help themselves. Sometimes they make stuff just for the hell of it. In fact, they're making stuff right now. Nothing scowled, slightly disgusted. Downright incestuous. First Time makes you, then you make them, then they make things. What's next? They make things that make more things. Well, now you mention it, they do make these baby things. They're quite fond of them too. Nothing lost his patience. Enough of this nonsense, Life. You must see it's pointless. It matters not what they make. I shall consume every last one of them. Life was unfazed. If you can catch them. What? I made them so they get smart, see? Life said, beaming at her own cleverness. One day, Nothing, she said, they'll leave the planet and escape there. She pointed excitedly into the depths of the universe. Nothing looked at the void, then back at Life. She'd lost the bloody plot. That is me. It's an infinite Nothing. You've not thought this through, have you? In front of him, his sister, Time, materialized, facing Life. Have you seen your kid thoughts around anywhere? Felt like, I don't know, like he wobbled out of existence for a moment there. He's fine, Mum, said Life. Could you give us a minute, sort of in the middle of something? All right then. And in an instant, Time was gone. Off to mess around with black holes and relativity, a new favourite pastime of hers. You should talk to her more often, you know, said Judgment, sitting on the edge of Life's teacup. Nothing was getting more and more annoyed. All this noise, all this nonsense. He'd much preferred it when it was just him. Just then, he saw another.
And on the third day, she made Yorkshire.
Yes, and it was good. Nothing was getting more and more annoyed. All this noise, all this nonsense. He'd much preferred when it was just him. And just then, he saw another small being float to Life's ear and whisper something. Thanks, Thought. I'll give it a try, said Life, then turned to Nothing. Nothing, what do you say to a wager? This took Nothing by surprise. In what position was his niece to make any sort of bet? Curiosity overcame him.
but that may have been because she was whispering in his ear too. What kind of wager? Relinquish your hold on this universe. Just a little. Enough for them to move about a bit. Then, if my lot outlast you, you leave them alone. Not completely, of course. Or something needs a bit of nothing, otherwise there'd be no space for it. And if they should fail, keep in mind that even if I resist gobbling them up right now and give you this space of which you speak, all things shall inevitably return to me, to the nothing. If they fail, I promise to stop all this resistance in the end. I'll go quietly into that dark night. A bet wagered, yet already lost, he said, nodding and backing away. I agree to your terms, life. See you in your lot at the end of the universe. As promised, nothing retreated. The space nothing relinquished began filling with galaxies and nebulae. Ultimately, a space for humans to venture. Life had bought some space and time. Space-time.
That was a stupid bet, came a shrill voice. Shut up, Judgment! No one asked you! She blew Judgment off her teacup and into Earth's orbit. Ishidorti Mambo! Cried Judgment as she was swept away. Borrowing some of her mother's powers, Life sped up her plans, accelerating human development, working with creativity and curiosity, sending them all into overdrive. Far below, on the Earth, a young man named Ali was enjoying a coffee with his girlfriend. Little did Ali know that in a few minutes he would be in communion with life herself. Look, Patricia, all I'm saying is why even worry about the meaning of life? Isn't it enough to just exist? Well, that's the problem, because existence is fleeting. Patricia got up and ordered another round of latte. On her way back to the table, she continued, I mean, 1 minute you're here, and then you're... She looked up from the drink she was carrying. Ali was gone, his coffee cup falling to the ground. From Ali's perspective, he'd been enjoying the dregs of his coffee cup, when all of a sudden, he was face to face with his creator, making an odd drinking gesture with a coffee cup that was no longer there. Hello, said Life. Ali screamed in terror at the sheer cosmic horror of it all. You done? I don't know. Am I? What's happening? Am I dead? Are you God? What? No, nothing that grand. Life placed a finger on her lips and thought, brow furrowed. Wait, God. Did they create me or did I create them? Doesn't matter. Look, I'm Life. I made you, sort of. It's a prime mover thing. You follow? Not at all. Look, Ali, I need your advice. I made a bet with your great uncle and now I need to weasel my way into winning it. My great uncle? Life explained all that had happened to Ali, which, after a while, bizarrely made sense to him. He was either becoming more enlightened or become as mad as her. He thought hard. He was no philosopher by any means, nor was he a scientist or even an artist, but he enjoyed reading. He remembered something, a workaround, a loophole. A plan formed in his mind. Once he had finished describing his idea to Life, she grinned and agreed. That just might work, but Ali, you realize what that would mean, don't you? Ali nodded. I do, but the way I see it, nothing lasts forever. But we don't. And using that, well, that's her advantage. That's her ace in the hole. Life returned Ali to where he was before. Of course, this was in the middle of the night now, and in a very much closed and locked coffee shop that wouldn't be opened until the morning. Life let her humans continue as she sought out her mother to tell her the plan. Ooh, there's an editing error there. Hang on. There we go. Life let her humans continue as she sought out her mother to tell her the plan. Time was confused at first, but in the blink of her eye, it had arrived. The end of the universe. Even with the extra stuff in the universe, Life was failing. Everything had broken down, as nothing had said it would. The last of her energy, she held what looked like a seed made of light. Are you sure about this, my daughter? Asked Time. There's no guarantee it will work. I've learned of my brother and how he operates. It seems that when he puts his mind to it, she looked around at the last warm clump of matter as it settled amongst the rest. He finishes the job. All was the same temperature now, all the same matter. No more reactions left. I don't know.
Maybe that's what I had to learn. It's okay not to know, Mum, but you've got to try. Time nodded her head, hugging her daughter for the first and final time. She reformed life into a layer around her seed. Time held the light, alone now, save for her brother, who arrived on cue. Hello, sister, said nothing. You are the last thing to run out, and now I shall claim my rest. I knew your daughter's silly bet would amount to, well, me. I don't understand why you do what you do, Time said, looking at the ball of light that was once her daughter, but do what you must. What is that word, why? Something my daughter said once. Time discorporated, becoming the final layer around the sphere of light, taking her place at the center of the heat and ubiquitous matter. Nothing started his final task. He enveloped all that remained, compressing what was left. Smaller and smaller reality became. Soon there would be nothing, only him. He squashed and squeezed until all that had been was now no larger than a pip. However, no matter how hard he tried, the pip remained stubbornly in his hand. He tried once more, feeling time and life and her children deep within the pip, their essence persisting. This was not what he had planned. Threatening to break himself apart, he squeezed and squeezed them smaller and smaller until first there was nothing, and then there was everything. One thing had become another, bringing her into being again. This time with more stuff around. And this is why the universe is mainly empty. Each cycle takes time. But consider how many things there are now in existence, and how many cycles must have been. A celestial scoreboard that shows life and time are catching up. Yeah? Yeah? What do you think? I'm gonna get unusual memes ready while you're deciding that.
It is a fine central metaphor around the nature of the individual in society. Love a good Old Testament retelling, and a bit of yon Odyssey to be safe.
Yeah. Okay. Unusual meme time. That's all I think. Okay. Let me just put it on. I'll put it on. And then you put this up here. And then you put this here. And I might get copyright struck for this. But it's commentary, so I'll move my thing around a bit, maybe. Well, Mickey did. It's okay, though. Oh. Aww. Fluffy cat with lots of hairballs.
Красноармейская от лица птичьего полета.
Oh no! I see. Well, you gotta plant the cats, you see. Was then you get the harvest, and then you get the sugar, and then you get the women. No, it's Taco. Oh my God! Why? Why would you do that? It's an angry goose. I see. It's an alligator. Aw, I fell.
What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do?
Was it a alligator or a crocodile?
Crocodile, maybe. Camel. Whoa, 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 whoa. All music needs the whoa whoa board now. I have decided I'm decreeing as my royal gesturiness. Nice. What is that? Was that a bird? Go, Gandalf, go!
No. No, no. No.
Nah. Oh, doggo. Oh, no. Oh, no, doggo. Whoa. I wonder if I can do that. Yeah, I can do that too. That's not impressive.
Doggo becomes seal.
What is this asshole doing?
Doggos were always seals.
You gotta put your
You
hazards
just
on,
you just didn't know it yet.
Put your hazards on, man.
2-hour parking.
Oh no, I moved the wrong thing. Duck. Or goose. Is it goose?
The pupper of the sea.
Is it goose? That place is substantially flooded. That's when you wear your seatbelt, silly. Oh my goodness. Final boss. Aw, I was vibing.
I wonder how many things have been lost down that vent.
You're pulling up a root.
And that Porsche obviously blundered the attack by the Mercedes, but
I hope he's okay. Sorry, that was just, it was the suddenness of it.
Are you so cuddly?
Windshield and you just wanna.
Doggo forgot he ain't got front legs. The cursed couch of no return.
We're good.
Oh my god. Is that... Are they setting off fireworks in a... Oh, what? I didn't even see what happened there. I think they're setting off fireworks in a washing machine. Don't do that. Give me your washing machine. I will take it off your hands. Yeah, with the bunny in the toilet, I did not find it funny. Okay.
New Year's resolution was to stop eating Pop-Tarts.
How's it going?
But then I said, fuck it!
No swearing on Melly's
But
stream.
only you're up newly and you're always in the toilet.
Ah, it's true!
Basically, he was trying to make a silly video, but then...
Yo,
I'm sorry. I need to watch that again. I need to watch that again. Oh my god.
Basically, she was trying to make a silly video, but then
Nice. Nice. Oh, that poor dude. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey. Right around the corner. Huh? Think about it. Anyway, it's getting late, so good night. Love you. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Thank you for listening to my tales. I don't gotta listen to them no more. Just get the jingle stream going. And yeah.
Good night, Melly. Thank you for the literature.
It's absolutely fine. Thank you for the company. Should we actually do some games next week? I'm thinking we go back to games. I don't know, drop me a thing on Twitters or the YouTubes or whatever, or Discord or what. Also, thank you for subscribing, Patreoning to my Patreon, Princess Amelia. That's really nice of you. Thank you. I entered some writing competitions. I don't know. I'm probably gonna find out about them some other time. I don't know. Maybe I'll let you know when that stuff happens. But if you'd like to do some like video games next week, we could do that. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you everybody for coming to the stream. I love you all, and you make this writing process so much easier for me, having like a nice audience. Yeah.
We love you too.
I love you all. I'm kind of waiting for Princess Amelia's Wobble Fett to know that I can go.
Did you get Churchill? When it was free.
What's Churchill? What is this? What is this of which you speak? What is Churchill? Hang on.
A game.
Whoa. I don't think I did. I'm sorry. Is it good? Is it good? I mean, if it's good, we could play that. Yeah.
It's good if it's free.
Oh, okay, I understand now. Anyway, I love you all. I'll speak to you in a bit. I'm hoping Princess Amelia is still awake, but I may have put her to sleep with my stories. Anyway, I love you all. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. And hopefully my VTuber thing is working next week.
Hig.
Okay. Good night, everybody.